Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Partaya Pradibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Puranam Nina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitambritavarshiniim Bhagavatim Ashtadashaadhyayiniim Ambadvam Anusantadami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshiniim Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyai Stavaihi Vedai Sangapadakramopanisadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam Navidusura Ragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. We'll chant the first verse. Uttaredatmanatmanam natmanamavasadaye atmaiva hyatmano bandhu atmaiva ripuratmanah. The first verse is about how to uplift our mind with the help of the buddhi. Atmanam Atmana Uddharet. Manaha Buddhya Uddharet. The mind which is subject to all negative thinking, past regrets, and all various habitual way of thought processing must be overcome by the help of intellect or buddhi, which is a seat of knowledge, wisdom, and the ability to make decisions. Many of us think that children who are, say, teenagers, they are indecisive most of the time. What do you want? Are you hungry? Sort of. So this is indecisiveness. That's natural. But if you are 55 and you are still like that, there is a problem. So buddhi is nischayatmika. The nature of buddhi is decisiveness, determination, firmness, steadfastness. That if it is not there, obviously mind will take over. And when the mind is taken over, mind takes over our personality, that is when we become so confused. Because nature of the mind is doubt, oscillation, uncertainty, chanchalam. So with that help of the intellect, make your mind not to get into that moods of despair, disappointments, regrets. That's a statement number one. Statement number two is, if you don't do it, the mind will pull you down. So therefore he says, na atmanam avasadayet. Avasadayet means sad. In Sanskrit, sad means to sit down. Sad. It's very close to English. Sad, sit. That's why the sanna means sat. It's very well sat. So asanam is the place where you sit. Or posture. It's yoga. In the yoga market, they say yoga asana. A position. So anyway, so mind, when it is pulling you down, it is called avasadana. The word ava is used as a prefix only to bring it down. Rohanam, avarohanam. Avarohanam is come down. Anyway, let's not go into Sanskrit now. So, na atmanam avasadayet. Do not bring down your mind. Don't lower yourself. Don't disrespect yourself. Don't lose confidence. Don't look down upon yourself. And don't take others' opinion and look at yourself as useless. Many times that happens. The whole world says I'm useless, therefore I'm useless. Prove it otherwise. So the failure is mainly starting from one's own inability to look at what is good in oneself. So na atmanam avasadayet. That is the second. Third one is, your own mind is your friend. When does it become a friend? When it helps you to overcome your imperfections, impurities. And such a mind which helps you to overcome your own inhibitions and conditioning is closer to the self. Paramatma, the self, is always there, blissful one. We stay away from it. Mind is taking us away from it. And when we are staying away from ourselves, we are miserable. That's why when we come home, it says, home sweet home. Why? Because you are away for a long time and you come back and relax. Right? So our own self is the abode of all bliss and joy. When we are made to move away from it, because the mind takes us away to all the habitual thinking, etc. So such a mind is an enemy. And a mind that brings you back to yourself is a friend. Closer to yourself, you are a friend. Away from yourself is an enemy. So when the mind is not properly tamed and trained, that a mind is an enemy. Atma eva atmanaha ripuhu. Atma eva atmanaha bandhuhu. So your own mind is your friend only when that mind is ready to let go of his usual tendencies and behavior and come closer towards the self with the help of the buddhi. And when the same mind, when it is not trained and tamed properly, when it is not obeying itself to the knowledge and wisdom of the buddhi, it stays away from it, and therefore it becomes your enemy. So, atmaiva hyatmano bandhuhu, atmaiva ripuratmana. All right. So next verse is verse number 47 from second chapter. Karmanyevadikaraste ma paleshu kadachana ma karma palaheturbuhu ma te sangostva karmani Karmanyevadikaraste ma paleshu kadachana ma karma palaheturbuhu ma te sangostva karmani. Adhikara means qualification. Qualification means you have the appropriate traits or qualities to engage. If you are applying for a job, they will ask you about what is your qualification, right? If you are going to become a physician assistant, and what is that you have already completed as a course? Software. You're not qualified for that. Because what your qualification is, and that doesn't match with what is the job that is being offered to you. So anything that you want to do in life, you must gain that proper qualification for that. Now, when we come to specifically Arjuna's case, and most of us are in the same predicament, we are all karma adhikari. Meaning, we are qualified to engage in action. Na jnana adhikari va, dhyana adhikari va, bhakti adhikari va. We are not really qualified for jnanam, for dhyan, yatha bhakti. So each one of them have got certain requirements. You cannot claim yourself as adhikari for dhyana or jnanam or bhakti. Only Bhagavan knows whether you are ready. Because manushya janma is for karma. The human birth is essentially start with readiness to work. Even all other animals cannot do. Even devatas cannot do that. Only humans can. And I always say that kar hai to karma hai. All have hands, right? Kara, it's called kara. Kar se kya karte ho? Wahi karma hai. Other living beings don't have a kara. Hand is not there, so they cannot handle anything. Devatas don't have a body, so there is no question of karma. So, karma adhikari. Manushya karma adhikari. Naraha karma adhikari. A human being is essentially having the qualification to act. And that is the reason why Bhagavan spends a lot of time in talking about what is the correct action you need to do. Arjun was ready to give up. मैं संन्यास ले रहा हूं. अरे आपको अधिकार नहीं है. संन्यास करने के लिए आपको अधिकार नहीं है. ज्ञान के लिए आप अधिकारी नहीं है. So how will you go for a thing where you are not qualified? Therefore, first statement, what he says, karmani eva adhikarah te. This very clearly to be understood. You are right to work only. We'll two different meanings we will see, but one by one. Now, kya karma karna hai? Usse humko about that we are very confused. So in our Shastra it is said, when you are in the first stage of life, certain karmas are prescribed. Brahmachari avasthayam. During the time when you are a student, not married, at that point of time, what are the things you are capable and you have a right to do? And that changes when you become a grihastha. And what a grihastha does, a non-married person or unmarried person has no right to do. This we don't follow nowadays, but anyway, that is, we have to understand that. So, जो ब्रह्मचर्य स्थिति में जो कर्म करना है, वो that is very specifically mentioned. And so, one householder, a person who is a family person, what kind of action such a person should do is also given, man or woman. What a husband should do, what a wife should do, etc. As a parent, what you should do. Then, vanaprastha ke liye kuch है और संन्यास के लिए भी है. For a renunciate, for the one who is getting ready to become a renunciate, all of them are given certain things. In all these things, what is common is adhikaritva for karma, for action. Now, in general, therefore, every individual human being driven by the desire engages in action. If you don't have desire, no action. But there's no condition where we have no desire. From the time we are born till we die, we have some desire or the other, and it may not be the same. What you were desiring when you are 10-year-old is not the desire that you have when you're 20 or 30 or 50 or 60. Right? So based upon the desire, so will be your action. So this way, when you have a desire to engage in action and you engage in only in that action, it is called kamya karma adhikaritva. Meaning your actions are driven by the desire that you have. Why I'm going elaborately is many people don't understand. They merely make a translation and then go away, but you have to know the context. Now, there are three kinds of karmas that are given in our Shastra. One is called kamya karma, desire prompted actions. The second one is called nitya naimittika karmas, or called niyata karma, which is called a duty, a thing you should do irrespective of desire. It is not related to desire at all. Wohi karna hai. So I often ask these children, why Krishna asked Arjun to kill Karna? You know why? Because Krishna said karna hai. Anyway, those who don't understand. So, nitya karma, naimitya karma is called niyata karma or kartavya. Kartavya means to be done. Either it can be daily duties or it can be when it occasion arises. And then the third one is called nishiddha, what you should not do. That also to be understood. Bhagavan Krishna says, karmanyo, but the very difficult to understand the karma. Karmano hyabi bodhavyam, bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha, akarmanascha bodhavyam, gahana karmano gatihi. To understand karma is difficult because you should know what to do, what not to do, and what is the state of not doing anything. Akarma. Now, when it comes to kamya karma, like you go to everyday, when you are in a professional work, then you go do your work at your workplace and etc. And that work you do because at the end of the work or end of the contract or whatever, there is a result which comes in the form of some remuneration, money you gain or the profit that you gain, etc. So that is the driving force for your action. So this is considered as, most of the time, it's kamya karma only. And all of us, more or less 70 to 80% of our work is kamya karma. Kamya karma means driven by desires. So when we are busy with doing only action driven by desires, there is always more and more actions coming into us. Because as I said, desire never ends. One desire is there and you fulfill that with your action. Another one comes, you do it. Another one comes, you do it. And finally you find you are already 80. Chalo. Abhi nikalna hai. Now I have to go. So the whole life is spent only in fulfilling your desire and there's nothing else you've done. Right? So what the Vedas say, apart from kamya karma, there is what is called kartavya karma. These kartavya karma are called nitya karmas, actions that are to be done by an individual. In Bhagavan Krishna, in 18th chapter, he elaborates on this point. That he says, Tyajyam doshavadityege karma prahurmanishinaha yajnadana tapa karma atyajyam karyameva tat. So, yajna, dana and tapa, these karmas are to be done. This is for us to get ready for knowledge or even devotion. Devotion and knowledge, only small difference is there. Both of them primarily require purity of mind. Chitta Shuddhi Avashyakam. In both, for devoting ourselves to God or gaining knowledge, both of them require, because both of them lead to moksha, liberation, salvation. But these two primary requirement is what? Purity of mind. And what is the purity of mind? Anxiety-free mind is called purity of mind. Amiji, every day for 6 to 8 hours, anxiety-free I am. Sleep. In sleep alone, we become anxiety-free. That is not what we are talking about, purity of mind. Mind which is pure is calm, unagitated. And whenever desire is there, obviously mind cannot be quiet. When the desire is there, necessarily the mind is, even when you are working on in a particular work, your mind having a desire is planning for the next one. Okay, ye to ho gaya, oh, dusra bhi karna hai. So that desire is there. When you finish it, by the time it is already lined up with 3-4 other things. Before you get married, you want to get married. After you get married, you don't know what to do with that. So the children will come in between. So our children come, they have to educate. Educating them, then they don't listen to you. And after that time, then you wait for them to go into the university so that you will be happy. After they are gone, you don't know what to do with this person. You just pause. So, and after theirs, and then you are worried about their marriage. And then it never ends. So, since the desires don't end, karma also doesn't end. Now, when your mind is preparing for knowledge and devotion, it has to consciously able to remain anxiety free. And that can happen in the context of devotion only when you do your best and allow the Lord to take over. That श्रद्धा होना चाहिए. मैं इतना किया और उसके बाद वो भगवान ने कंप्लीट करेगा, पूर्ण करेगा. We don't have that faith. Therefore, that's why I said we are bhakti adhikari nahi hai. We don't have the qualification to be a devotee because we do not have faith in God. Simple as that. If you have faith in God, then you will not be anxiety. The very sign of a devotee is no anxiety. Why? Bhagavan hai. He'll take care of it. Do we have that unquestionable surrender to Lord? That He will take care of what I could not do? Bhagavan doesn't say that don't do anything, I will take care of everything. No. You do what you need to do, but do not be anxious about what the rest which you cannot do. So the next statement he makes is Ma phaleshu kadachana adhikara the. You do not have to have adhikara or a right to decide on the results. When you do an action, you can be sure about the action to some extent, but you can never be sure about the result. What will happen out of your action is not decided by you at all. We can only plan, we can execute, we can do our best, but then rain will come. Right? We are all preparing for, but rain is not in our hand. We can put all the canopy, everything. But when rain comes, what will you do? It's not our choice. We cannot decide that. We can pray if you want to. That is Daivika. It is Bhagavan's work. So you say, oh Bhagavan, we are doing your work only, so just stop it. But then whether it will stop or not, that is not your decision. You bring the children, what they will become is not your decision. Bhagavan. So that kind of a surrender, the faith, implicitly obeying to the order of the Lord is not there in our mind. Gurudev used to say, we are university educated, continental idiots. Because we have totally no faith in God. So therefore we are not Bhakti Adhikari. Now who is a Jnana Adhikari? He also needs a purity of mind, which is anxiety-free mind, knowing that nothing is real. Why am I worried about this? What has happened is also gone. It is no reality. And what will happen also, that will have no reality. Really speaking, none of them have any true existence. They are all appearance. They are all happening to be there, and then they will all disappear. So why am I worried about something which is temporary? Why am I worried about something which is actually not true? Take your own thoughts, for example, how true they are. You consider your thoughts are true, and therefore you worry about that. When I understand that my mind itself is Maya, it is only an illusion that is going on, then I will be anxiety free. Right? But we do not have that also. We are not Jnanadhikari also. Why? Because we don't understand the illusoriness of things or temporariness of things. We think everything is real. Solid reality. And if you consider everything a solid reality, there is no escape from that. If you give me a fruit, a mango fruit, right in front of me, when I realize that is only a wax mango, will I have any interest in eating that? Knowing its reality, I will not touch it. Even the ant will not go anywhere near. Why? Because it's not real apple. In the same way, when we recognize that that whole gamut of the things that are happening has a temporary reality only. It's only false appearance. Then their mind won't be anxious about it. Now think about it. Are you Jnanadhikari then? No. So when the anxiety-free mind need to be obtained, obtaining which alone we can be true qualified people for knowledge or devotion, both of them which will lead to liberation. What we should be the first step that we need to do, how to be anxiety free. And that is why it says, Ma phaleshu adhikari. If you are too anxious about the result of your action, then there is no freedom from the agitations of the mind. So that's why the right is to work only, but never to its roots. Understanding this alone, you will be able to become anxiety free of your results. Otherwise, anybody would say, then why am I working? If I am going to give up the results, then why am I working then? I will not do anything. Seva karo. If somebody says, kiske liye? Next question. आप मनशुद्धि के लिए, if you tell that person to common man for your own purity of mind, do seva. Unless he is convinced that I have to purify my mind, he will not do the seva. Even in the field of seva, he will expect recognition. Is it not? Itna kaam kiya koi, nobody has even praised me. Nobody has said thanks to me. Then it's not seva then. So when we recognize that the seva essentially is meant for my own purity of mind, then you do it with love, with joy, with happiness. Why? It is for me only I am doing. By my purity of mind only I am doing this. Whether anybody notices at all or not. The result is already there. I'm not waiting for anything to happen. So, first statement is Karmani eva adhikarahate. You have the right to work only. Ma phaleshu kadachana. At no time you have the right over the result, provided you understand that letting go of the anxiety over the result alone is the means to purify my mind. To a common man, if you say, you will not be able to understand this at all. Well, how without results, why should I work? No need. See, if you're sending your children to school, and then every quarter or every 3-4 months they will have exams, right? So quarterly, whatever exam, and they all study only for that, correct? At least I did that. Just one day before the exam, whole night study, and the next day go and vomit. Now, at that time when I was doing that, I did not realize that that is not correct way of doing things. Why? Because the intention of that whole examination process is whether you have understood or not. If I have studied properly and understood the concept clearly, I'm not anxious about the exam. Because the exam is not for pass or fail. Exam is to know whether I know. Think. It is not that the examiner or the school is trying to punish me. The school is trying to tell me that you should know what you should know. This is a test to find out whether you know it. And not for us to give a grade. That is not the point here. Similarly, when we are in the place of work, our mind is anxious about the result. Actually, then I am not really making the best use of that opportunity. Now, this is where if the desire formed actions are there, this is not possible. Right? The very prompting of your action is desire. Therefore, the Vedas prescribe Nitya Karma, which has no result. Think. कर्तव्य कर्म में फल नहीं है. When a Brahmana is asked to do Sandhya Vandanam 3 times a day, what is the result you think? No result. You are worshipping the sun only to keep your mind in a state of thankfulness, gratitude. That's all it is. इतना संध्या वंदन किया कुछ होगा कुछ नहीं होगा. Nothing is there for that. It is only to make your mind anxiety free, where the result is not going to happen. There's no result. So Nitya Karma, which is called Kartavya, does not have any personal result. And this is discussed in the 18th chapter towards the end. Bhagavan elaborates on that. So here, Ma Paleshu, not on the result you have any right. And when you know this, your mind is free of the anxiety for result, yet you continue to do. Therefore, the next statement is, let the fruit of action be not the motive. Kartavya bhav se karma karo. Do actions as a means to show gratitude to God and everything else in this world. Because the entire world is working with you to help you what you do. Your own body, every part of your body is helping you to do what you want to do. And this is given to you by the Lord. By Bhagavan only it is given to you. And the entire world around you is also, with all its very natural resources and all other things, helping you to engage in action. So you be grateful to the Lord who is allowing you to do your work. And Therefore, may you not be the phala hetu. Meaning, let the phalam need not be your hetu. The result need not be your motive. Now, let me bring one important point here. लक्ष्य और फल में भेद है. Meaning, there are two things we have to understand: the result and the target. Not the target that you go here. The lakshya. What is your lakshya? Lakshya or phal. Lakshya is the goal. Let us put not target, goal. The target means immediately bring up like this. Goal and result, they need not be the same. कर्म फल देता है, मन लक्ष्य को देखता है. While action will bring, any action will bring result, but the mind should be focusing on the goal. If one does not have a goal at all, one is stuck with only the phal. That's why Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi very clearly says, Karturajñaya prapyate phalam karma kim param karma tajjatam kriti mahodado patana karanam phalam. Phalam is patana karanam, ashashvatam. Result of any action is impermanent and it pulls you down. So mind has to focus on the goal. And if the focus is only on the phal, that is forgotten. So, ma karma phala heturbu. May you not be driven by the result, may you be driven by lakshya. Now, in the case of Arjun, what happened? He looks at the result. Oh, if I fight the war, then I'll be killing all these people, and all these people will be my own grandparents, uncle, teacher, etc. They will all die. Lakshya ko bhul gaya. What is the purpose of the war? Lakshya means purpose or goal. What is the purpose of the war? To bring back righteousness and destroy the unrighteous one. These people whom you are saying that my uncle, my cousin, my this, these are all the people who are adharmic. Unless they are not there, unless they are removed, you will not be able to finally reach the result of bringing back righteousness. That's what you have forgotten. Therefore, he said, Dharma Sammuda Cheta. I don't know what I'm doing. So to him, very clearly, Bhagavan says, Ma karma phala hetu. Don't. Ma means don't. Do not become driven by your results. May you be driven by the ultimate goal. So as much as they're taking the example of the children, when they are studying in the school, what they should be doing is to have a clear goal. Even if they may not get A grade, B grade, whatever it is. But if they have understood the subject, doesn't matter. After all, when they go to the workplace, they are not looking at the grade. They look at how efficient you are in the workplace. Is it not? One maybe even not got a proper grade, but if he is good, understood the subject, and he is able to perform well, that person will go up much faster than the person who got A grade but totally inefficient. What's the point? So what is that driving you? The goal. What I would like to be is not just getting a high grade, but I want to know the subject. When the subject is known, when you are efficient in understanding that, one is not anxious about whatever the evaluation people do. So, ma karma phala heturvu. So, first statement is you are right only to duty, karma adhikari tvam, and na phala adhikari bhava. Why? Because that anxiety is what you want to get rid of. For that, you should do kartavya karma, chodo kamya karma. Because kamya karma or desire prompted action presupposes that you are supposed to get the result. That will keep the anxiety intact. So may you not be driven by your result, but driven by the goal. And one should not say that if anyway I am not going to be getting my result, why should I do? No, don't stop working. Because the goal is not immediately reachable. The goal is always far away from you. Gurudev always said that keep the goal in such far away from you, you have to work for the whole life to reach there. If the goal is only what you can achieve tomorrow, you will get bored. That's what happens to children, no? When they are very smart, when they are able to finish their homework, Mom, now I'll play this. Why? They are bored. They want to play a game which will give them more challenge. I finished my math, I finished my study, and now what do I do? They are like the genie, you know. You have to keep them engaged. Otherwise, they will eat you alive. So at the same time, when I am not driven by my result, then if one is only focusing on the result and does not have a goal, then what he will do? Mate sangaha astu akarmani. Meaning, at any point, no point of time, you should become actionless. In this context, what this means is, may you not be a parasite in this world. Don't live as a parasite, living unproductively. So when we were given Diksha by our Swami, Gurudev, and he said, work, never be tired of work. And that alone will keep your mind focused, make your mind pure, and make you keep productive in this world. Swadhyaya pravachanabhyam na pramadidavya. Never give up that. Our work is not, physical work even then, but engage in self-study, reflection, and sharing your thoughts. And self-study, reflection, sharing this is the work that is given to us. Keep doing that. You will improve. If anybody improves or not, that is, you will definitely improve. I remember once it so happened, then I was in Siddhabari with Gurudev. I was a student at that time. And there was one brahmachari who has previous batch of after I finished. So he was posted in Chennai. And when Gurudev was there in Siddhabari, Himalayas, one day when I was waiting for Gurudev to come out of his kutir, I was outside, and as soon as he came out, and this brahmachari, from all the way from Chennai, during those times, it will take 2 days to come in the train to reach, Himalayas. Because it's a train itself to Delhi itself is 1.5 days. Finally, he arrived, morning, as soon as he arrived, he took a quick shower and came to see Gurudev. And as soon as Gurudev came out, all the way from Chennai, at that time Madras. Madras, you came, very good. What is the purpose of your visit? So that brahmachari said, only to see you, Swami. Very good. Did you have a shower? Yeah. Did you eat the breakfast? Yes, very good. Now you go back. I was stunned there. I was looking at him. Leave your workplace and don't come here. I didn't call you. He was very strict. Unless the commander general tells you or puts you in other position, when you are in the army post, you are stuck there. He was from army, so he knows that. There you stand. That is your post. That is where you stand. Whatever happens, that is your place of work. Don't move. So, do not say I am going to be actionless. That means you are useless. If I understand action is meant for my mental purification, why should I stop then? If I know action is meant for my own upliftment and purity of mind, eagerly waiting to make the mind more and more pure, I will never stop working because I know this is a sadhana. It is a way to uplift or made to become spiritually more inclined towards quietening the mind and making mind serene, making my mind available for reflection. Why should I stop there? When you don't have that, then you get into a state of lethargy, laziness, unproductive. Mate sangaha astu akarmani. May not you be associated with actionlessness. Let's say, let the attachment be not to inaction. So the inaction is no doubt the state of the self. When you get into the state of total abidance in the self, inaction naturally takes place. Not that you give up. It will happen. It is like in another 2 hours, and some of them are already there. You will get into the inaction, right? You just slowly, whatever comes to your mind, oh, kal karenge aaj nahi, kal karenge aaj. Tomorrow I will do, not today, not today. How are you able to postpone your action to tomorrow? And why? One is physical tiredness, that is there, exhaustion, etc. Other thing is, you do not see that it is too important to do now. Right? It can be done tomorrow. If that can wait tomorrow, then why should I be worried about it today? I'll do it tomorrow. Without that, you cannot go to sleep. You have to postpone your work for tomorrow. Right? In the same way, a person who is ready for abiding in the self will say, "Is janma mein nahi, agle janma mein karenge." Not in this birth. I do those actions the next birth. I don't see any relevance to do it now. Because I don't see any value in doing this. Vairagya hona chahiye. So then inaction is correct, but it will happen. Not that you have to give up. It will naturally happen that you will get disinterested in those actions which are not going to yield any result for your growth. Then it will go away from you. Just like a child when he is grown up, it gives away very gracefully its teddy bear to the sister. Take it. Why? Because I don't see any value in that. When you do not see value in that, you'll naturally get away from it. When the desires are less and less, the actions also will become less and less. And you will take a more of the kartavya karma to make your mind more and more pure. What is kartavya karma? Action without the anxiety for results. The actions which cannot give any result anyway. So every action will become a kartavya karma that comes. Thereafter, you do it not because you have any anxiety about the result. You do it as an offering to the Lord. We'll see the next one will come. Next verse is about that. How to do this kartavya karma. How to do this action that are having no result or there is no, not today. Kal karenge. Aaj nahi. So such a mind which has become quiet and anxiety free is the mind ready for jnana ke liye, bhakti ke liye, dhyan ke liye. That's why Bhagavan says in 6th chapter beginning itself, Arurukshoho munehi yogam karma karanam chate yoga arudasya tasseva shamak karanam chate. One who wants to meditate must purify the mind with the action. But once having reached the point of such anxiety free, not doing is what you need to do. At the present moment, we cannot do that. We are not capable of doing. Even when we sit for quite some time in the name of meditation, the question that comes to our mind, after meditation, what I should do? Even in that action, no, in the state of actionlessness, there is anxiety about further actions. Even when you're sitting there, oh, I hope everybody at home knows that I'm meditating. We are anxiety to make sure that everybody knows that I meditate. And Gurudev always would say, do not do your meditation when everybody is watching you. Yogi yunjid satatam atmanam rahasistita. You should always engage in meditation where nobody is watching you. Two reasons. One, it is not necessary for you to tell everybody that. Second is, when you are doing it, others are looking at you. They will disturb you also through their mind. Oh, he's meditating. What is he meditating on? And they will test you also. Walk 2-3 times next. Right. Don't you know that I'm meditating? Why are you walking like this? Rahasistita. Stay in a solitude. So even the state of staying oneself in the presence of God in your mind or Atman, that should be done quietly and not with any anxiety. Not anxiety about what you're going to do afterwards also. So it's called Shamak Karanam. So that adhikari for dhyanam requires your mind to become free of anxiety. It's all preparation. So in the case of jnanam, it is a false nature of everything that you come to know. Therefore, there is no anxiety. In the case of a devotee, he knows that what I am to do, I've done. What else to be done? It is Bhagavan's work. Let him do. Give up that. In the case of a person who is in the state of dhyanam, he knows that his only engagement now is to make his mind not to worry about anything else, because that is not going to help me in abiding in the self. So therefore, I withdraw from all of them. So this is a practice of withdrawal. Like a sleep, you withdraw from everything so that you are available fully for only in this engaging in the self. So that withdrawal is what is considered as shama. So that way, this verse also has got 4 instructions like the first one. Right? Your right is over doing the right thing. Be free of anxiety of the result. May you be driven by the goal, not by the result. And don't remain actionless. All right. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kasyid Dukkha Bhat Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om. So you have 3 more verses to cover. So that is tomorrow. I'm not anxious about it, but anyway. Tomorrow will be on how to do the kartavya or duties. And with what attitude one should do our actions. So that is the verse from, next verse is from chapter number 9:27. That is, then the next one is developing devotion to God. That is from chapter number 9 again. And the last one is from chapter 18. So that we'll do tomorrow and day after, Thursday, Wednesday and Thursday. Thank you.